This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit, Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, this is Dani G, the living, breathing star of professional wrestling, and you're watching Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and CastBox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the living, breathing star, Dani G.
Too kind. Thank you.
How are you today, Dani?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Can you tell us where we can see the living, breathing star of pro wrestling in living color event-wise?
Of course. You can see me in action at All-Star Lucha Libre. I am in the Futures Battle Royal consistently at CSW now, and I'm being featured at Ultimate Combat Gauntlet.
Okay. And where can we find you on social media as well?
On Instagram, I'm going to be _Dani.G. On Facebook, I'll be Daniel Burks. And, yeah.
Merchandise?
Currently, it is being in the process of being made, but coming soon.
Okay. So, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. Link will be in the bio.
And you don't even have to look for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and CastBox.
Thank you.
Alright, let's get into it. You work for All Star Lucha and Guerrilla Fury Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Yeah. So my relationship with All Star Lucha Libre started roughly around 2 years ago when I was coming back from a torn ACL injury. They reached out. They asked me if I wanted to be a part of their show in June, and I so happened to be available, and I was returning, so I said yes. And ever since then, it blossomed. Every month, whenever they have a show, I am featured in either a singles match, tag team, a 6-man tag. Yeah, great relationship. I love the owners. Very respectable people.
And Guerrilla Fury Wrestling?
Guerrilla Fury Wrestling, I believe they're just fans who create content and they film. But they're great people, great fans. Okay. I had them in person.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you've so low-key All-Star Lucha has been like a mainstay for you.
Correct, yes.
Alright. Well, your last match for them, I believe it was, against Adonis Allen, a very competitive match, to say the least. Can you tell us about that match?
Gosh, that match. See, Adonis, he is a very, very talented competitor. He ended up bringing something out of me that I kind of didn't want to show just yet. But, yeah, towards the end of it, I started imploding, I guess you can say, because, gosh, he just wouldn't give up, you know? Little rascal. But, yeah, it was a very fun time working with Adonis, you know. Like I said, earlier in the day, he came in with great energy, and I was just ready to work with him, but so much to learn with that kid, you know.
You mentioned, you know, he may have brought out more in you than you actually wanted to give. Could you maybe elaborate on that?
Yes. Okay, so, as a star, you know, as the star of professional wrestling, it's my duty to uphold some type of etiquette and, like, you know, poise. And he was making me turn vicious, something that I kind of don't want the fans to see because, you know, I'm a nice guy. The fans, I've created a bond with the All-Star Lucha Libre faithful, you know. They respect me. I'm a face. I'm their guy. I'm their star, if you will say. And towards the end of it, they were just getting in my head because they were chanting for Adonis, you know, someone who I think it was his second time competing on the show. And I just kind of sort of felt, you know, disrespected. Yeah.
I gotcha. So, maybe a side of you that, like you said, you didn't want to show, but now that you have shown that side of you, are we going to see more of it?
If I keep competing against people that, what do you say, that aren't quite just there yet, you know, and they want to act like they're there, you know. I won't name names, but I am a star. So yes and no, if they bring it out of me, if you will say.
Is that kind of a side of you that you knew that you had there, or was it something like even surprised you?
I wouldn't say I was surprised about it. No. It's something that I've always knew I had in me. You know, it's been brewing for a while. I was at a string of like losses. I think I lost my last 2 to 3 matches at All Star, so I knew something just needed to change. Some sort of direction, some sort of attitude shift, and yeah, it's just been brewing and building. And you know, I've been trying to like contain the beast within, because like I said, I'm the star of the people, so I want to show the best face possible, be their guy. But you know, it's hard when they're bringing in competition. You know, competition is stiff, so I just got to show them that there's a reason why I'm the living, breathing star, and they're them.
So basically, as long as your competitor doesn't piss you off and the fans respect their living, breathing star, all will be well.
I think you put that very perfectly, very well said. Yes. Respect is a must. You know, there's some type of level of poise, like I said, and I just feel like some of these wrestlers have it and some of them don't. And obviously, you know me, I'm one of those who have it. So then there's others who don't. So we'll see who my next opponent is at All Star Lucha Libre.
Well, definitely somebody that has it is a one dad bod demigod, Joey Mayberry. Obviously respected name in the area and on the independents. Can you tell us about the match that you had with him?
Gosh, Joey Mayberry is such a feisty Hellcat. I can't even begin to explain how unpredictable he is. He hit me so dang hard with his rear end when I was on that freaking in the middle of those ropes. I can't even explain. My good heavens, great heavens. He brought it. When I say it, he has it. He's a star. From down to the entrance, Jillian, love her to death. It was just a fun match all the way around. I remember we had a match back in July that wasn't televised or taped. It was kind of like in a backyard setting, and it was just after it rained. The match was soaking wet, ropes wet, slippery, and that match was an absolute, as if I would say myself, you know.
I low-key didn't really recognize Joey. You know, obviously, you know, he usually dresses up a lot more fashionable. So seeing him in just a green plaid short, what was that? Do you know what he was in there?
Well, it definitely was a fashion no-go for me. You know what I mean? I do know what you're saying. I'm normally used to the glitz, the glam, you know, the fashion, like you said. He is diva coded for sure, but that day he just looked like a little leprechaun threw up on him before the match, you know. Like I was like, baby, you don't have nothing else in the bag, but whew, it was what it was. You know, he almost blinded me with the greenness, but
yeah, he almost won by blinding you with his fashion sense.
Yeah, he did exactly.
You mentioned you wrestled him twice. Any difference you saw in yourself wrestling him the first time compared to the second?
Yeah, so the first time around, I was going through like a little character shift. When I first started around, I was wearing tights with shorts on top. This time around, I had kind of like assless chaps, and then I had tights underneath too. I just cut my hair. I was going through like a little resurgence of trying to find who Dani G was. So I guess you can say this is when the fire really kind of started, when I knew I kind of had to get a little bit more aggressive, because he, like I said, when I say Adonis brought something out of me, him too, as a character and as a wrestler, brought something out of me too. As a dad bod demigod, he thinks he's above everyone else, but as a star, it can't happen like that. You know what I mean? So the second time around when we did face off, I did know I had to be more aggressive. I had to bring it. I had to hit him that much harder, because at the end of the day, I'm only 160 pounds. He's like, what, 220, 230? I don't know his weight. I don't want a body shape or anything like that, but baby's big. He got some meat on me. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
just saying, I had to come with it.
And I mean, you mentioned the first match that you had out in the rain. You are, still young in your pro wrestling career. What was the experience wrestling, on a wet mat?
It really didn't bother me. No. So there was a point where I did go to do one of my signature moves, which is like a hip attack into the corner, roll into a high knee. And when I went to go do the hip attack, I did slip, and therefore I kind of just nailed him head on. Besides that, I went for a springboard cutter, slipped right off the rope, landed on my head, but just little quirks, you know what I mean? But you work through them. Besides that, I had a very fun time. It's an experience I would always like hold near and dear to me. I wouldn't change it for the world.
All right. You mentioned, kind of going through, a career resurgence, trying to change, go maybe in a different direction. I did notice that you did train with Mateo Valentine, obviously another well-respected name in the area, friend to Joey Mayberry. Did he contribute to any of that, new version of Dani G?
Mateo is one of those people where when you hear the saying iron sharpens iron, he's exactly that iron for me. We practice outside the ring together, and we actually were supposed to be involved in a couple tag matches together, which didn't happen, which is really sad, honestly, because we were in the process of getting matching gear made, and tag moves were getting thrown together and all that. So it would have been actually really fun, and I think it would have been enjoyable for all you guys to see as well. Yeah, I hold Mateo near and dear to my heart. He's one of those people where I don't think he gets enough credit. He's a very talented competitor, and I think it's only a matter of time, not if, but when he gets showcased in the type of manner he is supposed to,
It's crazy that you haven't shared the ring with him, in a competitive capacity yet.
Oh, yeah. I say the same thing. So promoters, if you're listening, Mateo G versus Dani, like Mateo Valentine versus Dani G, book it, or, tag match. I'm here for it. He's here for it.
Hell yeah. Any promoters? You heard the man. Book it.
Yep. Just book the match. Give the people what they want.
You did mention it earlier. You tore your LCL back in 2022, I believe. How did that happen?
Ooh, it's one of those things where you kind of hurt yourself doing the simplest and easiest things. I was going for a headlock takeover, and the knee pads that I had on were kind of slipping down. I was practicing at this point for about 3 hours. This is after practice had ended, so I was just getting a couple more reps in. I was chaining. I said lock up, headlock takeover. As soon as I went down to my knee to pose, my knee pad slipped and my knee went to the side, completely tore. Yeah, I just remember feeling this burning sensation. And at first, like you said, being young, being dumb, I kind of didn't realize what it was. I kind of was just like, oh, that felt weird. So I continued on for about a good 5 more minutes, but then after I tried to stand up, I realized I couldn't put no weight on my leg, and yeah, I kind of knew that that wasn't good. So, yeah.
How long was you out for?
I would say roughly 9 to 10 months before I could even get back into the ring and start training. Yeah.
I can imagine, obviously, like I said, still pretty early in your career. That wasn't, discouraging at that time. Was you maybe feeling like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this again? Or was your mindset always, I'm going to return to the ring?
The thought was never that I was never gonna be away for the ring from that, like for that long. The comeback was always the journey. You know what I mean? From the moment I knew I was injured, the question was, when can I get back in the ring? How can I get back in the ring? What can I do to get back in the ring? I mean, wrestling is all I want to do ever since I was 3 years old. I used to tell my grandmother this all the time, where she'd be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You could be anything you want. You could be a president. You could be a doctor. You're so smart. I said, I want to be a wrestler. She goes, ha ha ha. Now with that pretty face, I said, Grandma, it's what I want to do. So for me, wrestling is there when I'm sad. Wrestling is there when I'm happy. Wrestling has always been there for me. It's always made a memory and a moment for me. And for that, that feeling that I've gotten over the years, I just kind of want to give back to the people. So when I got injured, it was discouraging a little bit, because I started training in 2019. So up until that point, it was just, what can I do to get seen? What can I do to get noticed? What can I do to get promoted on a show? And then once it all gets taken away from you and you kind of start at square one, it's, where do I go from here? But like I said, it's all about the comeback. It's all about the journey. And if it wasn't because of that, or what I went through, I wouldn't be the same person, the same Danny G that I am today. So I wouldn't change it for the world. No. Do I wish it upon anybody? No. It was painful, mentally, physically, emotionally, but I got through it, and I'm here. I'm a star. That's why I'm a star. Clock that T. That's why I'm a star.
Hell yeah. So, what did you adjust or change pre LCL tear to post LCL tear?
I would say how I was training, and I think it would be outside the ring. I was on a bunch of fat burners and stuff, because in wrestling, there's this term that gets thrown around of body dysmorphia. And basically, if you don't know what it is, I'm not going to be very by the book with it, but in real life, you may be in prime physical condition, but in your head, you're beating yourself up to the point where you think you're nasty, you're fat, you're ugly. So I think I got to a point where I was just taking so many supplements and losing so much weight that my body couldn't endure what I was putting it through. Because when I did go see a doctor, she told me that I did not have no collagen or cartilage in my knee no more. And that's what contributed to my ACL, tearing. Because I was working out, it was 5 or 6 days a week. My workouts were lasting 2 hours every single day. I was doing legs maybe 2 times a week. So I was just overloading. My body wasn't giving it enough time to rest because, like I said, I was young. I was just trying to work so hard to get to that next level. And if I was to go back, I would tell myself to take that time and breathe, because you're going to get there. It's just a matter of time.
All right. Well, going back to, wrestling Joey Mayberry, obviously, size advantage, a bigger boy. But I believe the biggest of boys you've wrestled so far was Mike Strong. Can you tell us about that match?
Oh my God. Mike Strong is my bloody kryptonite, sir. But he honestly, he is what made Danny G. I will give him that. He is the strongest foe I've ever competed against. I've never been chopped harder in my life. He split my chest on one chop, my dude. What? Wow, like, oh my Jesus, he threw me so far across the ring. I was begging for mercy, but he gave me more. You know what I mean? But it's what I asked for. I asked for that match. They gave it to me, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. That guy can go. He's athletic, and for a big man, I mean, you don't see people like that often. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not every day you see a guy his size do a standing a moonsault.
Oh yeah, yeah. And on my nose, I might add. No, let me stop. But yeah, a standing shooting star moonsault.
Shooting star, yes.
Yes, like crazy athleticism for a big guy. I remember towards the end of the match, I was on the top rope. I was getting ready to do my Magnum TA tribute. I was going to do a code breaker off the top rope, and he met me there. And I just remember I'm over here trying to chop him down, beating him down like a big oak tree. I'm over here, headbutt. I go to push him back. I'm thinking he's just going to fall down. He does a backflip. I said, no, sir. I said, come on now. That's why they stomp his head on the mat.
Well, you spoke about a Magnum TA tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that?
I just like paying tributes to like certain wrestlers and stuff that I see on the internet. So like, I know the move as Magnum TA is the father of somebody I'm not going to mention because they're not really popular right now, but they do a certain move that's kind of like a Magnum driver. It's off the top rope. It's just like Invader code breaker. You jump from the top, give them a code breaker. Very devastating. Yeah, I was just paying tribute in that way to like a wrestling move, if that makes sense.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You did do a tribute to Triple H as well. You hit Mike with the pedigree.
I did. Oh my God, I love me some Triple H. Love me some D-Generation X.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously we mentioned a lot of, big names. I don't think there's a bigger name you've low-key wrestled against, and that is you had a match in a hallway against Will Ospreay.
Oh my God! Stop it! Yes, my man, he was so kind. He was getting done doing a signing with a meet and greet with fans, and as he was walking out, this is when I was attending freelance. He was so kind to give us 10 minutes and just to share some words of advice to the business. And I remember looking at his arm, and I was like, "Would you whack me in my face?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, just shove me with a forearm real quick." And everyone was like pondering, like, "What is this guy on?" I was like, "No, I just want to feel how he hits." And super safe. You would never believe it. Like, he rocked me, but we hit hard in safe places, and the caliber of that athlete to take his time out his day to just do that speaks enough about his character, honestly.
Did he call you bruh?
He did. Bruv said a lot. Yes. Yes. He shared a great story about how the reason why you shouldn't be insecure about your body in wrestling is because when he was a teenager, he used to walk around in his knickers around his friends. So, I mean, if that goes for anything, go ahead and strut your stuff, boy.
Definitely an interesting story, for sure, which is a great segue into Dani's bizarre adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I remember it was actually my first ever event. I think I was wrestling 3 Rings of Doom. I was going to Indiana, and basically as wrestlers, we hitch rides with other wrestlers just to save on gas and stuff. And I remember riding with the Bang Bros and Darius Luttrell, but it was the journey of getting there to them. I almost missed my ride because in my mind, I was like, hey, I could take a Lime scooter. This is gonna be fast. Yeah, that's gonna be fast. And not knowing that every 30 minutes the pass is reset, I kept having to buy a pass and keep going, buy a pass and keep going. So what initially was a 45-minute bus ride ended up taking me an hour and 36 minutes. So by the time I even got towards where he lived, he was already on the road. And I was like, please come back and get me. It's my first event. Oh my God, no. And then it's kind of like every wrestler's nightmare, you know what I mean? To not like where you need to be ready, but you're not ready. But
Right.
he was so gracious enough to come back and get me. And we drove and, yeah, I had family coming to see me, which I kind of sort of don't understand why, because it was a battle royal. I was only going to be in there for a hot second. And they ended up missing me because they didn't even get there in time. But yeah, needless to say, it was a catastrophe. But that was a memory. Yeah.
Seems like they had the same route that you had there.
They definitely did. You know, they had the same, they must have been on Lime scooters. Support it. I do, you know, but no. Horrible time. It did teach me how to be on time and time management and, you know, just to be on top of your stuff.
Out of curiosity, do you have your driver's license?
I do have my driver's license, yes.
Okay, so, I mean, you can, you know, drive.
Oh, yeah, no, I have a car now and everything, yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so back then you didn't have a
No,
car.
I was just brand spanking new. I was a greenie. I was a greenie baby in the business. Did I have a car? Did I have nothing? I had a bike. That's what I had. So, went to the line, man. That wasn't it, sir. That was not it.
Okay, so we're learning from our bizarre adventures as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we're always learning.
All right. Now, can you tell us about the Zipping Tea channel?
Oh my. Yes, so during 2019, I was branching out and I was doing a little YouTube channel where I was doing reviews on pretty much everything, alcohol, movies, food. Whenever my curiosity peaked, I just went in there. One of the big things I got into while I was doing the channel was skincare. You know, I feel like that's one thing that makes Dani G me. I love a good glow. I love a good routine. I think it kind of brings me whole in a way. You know what I mean? If you take the time to just take care of yourself, to maintain yourself. And then I just realized this is something that I could share with everybody because it's everyday things. That's what I started to do. And I mean, eventually I started falling off because I didn't get the viewership. And, you know, it's all about like consistency with content creating. So I am going to start up again with the Sipping Tea. I'm just trying to reorganize a couple of things and see what I kind of want to get into. I know skincare is one of those avenues, and I do want to get into like food mukbangs and stuff like that to show people like Chicago and stuff they could do while they're here, you know?
I gotcha. It did seem like content-wise, it was kind of all over the place. I mean, you had a wine review, a movie review, a skincare review, you had a story time, and then it just kind of turned into like a vlog, so to speak.
Correct, yeah. So at first, I feel like I was just trying to see what was going to pique people's interest. But then finally, I was like, you know what? Let me just keep people what they want to see, which is like normal day to day. You know what I mean? Because when you're trying so hard to be something you're not, I feel like it's just disingenuous, you know? So if I could just record myself in a moment of me making like a smoothie or a milkshake or, hey, I'm pouring out me a glass of wine, let's talk. Because like at the end of the day, you're my people, right? Let's talk to the camera. I'm talking to you guys. So let's talk, let's share. Let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you about my week. And I think I was starting to build a connection, you know, and that's why I want to start it up again, because it's just a unique format for people to kind of understand who I was as a person. And I feel like that's what I was just trying to do, was get myself out there, noticed in like a different platform.
So you're saying you didn't enjoy King Kong vs. Godzilla as much as you said you did?
I'm tending to realize that a lot with like movies. I'm very generous when it comes to like the Richter scale of movies. I'm like, oh, this movie's an 8, but then when I go ahead and I ponder it and I think it's more like a 6 out of like 10. So it could have been better, you know. I feel like the action, it was alright, you know, still in some areas, but yeah, it could have been better for sure.
Out of curiosity, what is what has been a movie that you were maybe too generous with giving it a good review right off the bat?
Oh, God, Lord Jesus. I would say this new Captain America movie that just came out, honestly. Because when I went to go see it, I started having some adult beverages. So off the bat, I was like, oh, lit, this is great. Oh my God. So, but when I started divulging into the actual story and the plot, I was like, there's nothing really there to sink your teeth into. You know, as a wrestler, you always look for the climax of the story. And then as you go for the climax, then you work your way to the ending. And I feel like the ending was very unclimactic compared to the whole story. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so...
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to hold off.
Yeah, but I can definitely understand where you're coming from because having just heard how they made the movie, it's like they made like 3, maybe 4 different versions of it that they just kind of sliced together because they were so inconsistent with where they wanted the direction to go.
You know, a movie I'm going to say right now that was complete, like, and utter shit. I'm sorry for cursing. But have you watched Terrifier 3?
Is that the movie with Chris Jericho?
Yes.
No, but I did want to see it.
Don't worry. Don't even bother. It was a complete and utter snooze fest. You say clippets. They took snippets from the first and second movie. Have you ever watched Robot Chicken?
Yes.
That's what it reminded me of. It literally was just like a Robot Chicken Terrifier sequence. It wasn't no bueno. No, it wasn't good.
That sounds hilarious, honestly.
I don't know. If that's your type of jam, then go ahead. I mean, but you know.
I mean, I wouldn't be watching something like that for you know, because it has a rich story. I would be watching it just to see how big of a shit show it could actually end up being.
That's true. That's true. Like, take it for what it is, not what it's not. Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you mentioned it, Robot Chicken. Fan of the show?
Well, I don't know if you can see my arm.
I cannot.
Let me see.
I can unfortunately not see you.
Here, let me see if I can flip the camera around.
Oh no, I mean on the chat that we have, I can't see you. It's only us.
Oh, okay. My apologies. So I have a whole half arm sleeve full with cartoon characters of animation. I have Bender, Stewie Griffin, Bobby Hill, Roger, Doodlebot from SpongeBob, Lisa Simpson, Phineas and Ferb, Pooh from Fairy Godparents, Stitch. I have Tina throwing it back on the side of my arm, and I have Rick and Morty on my my forearm. So yeah, I'm very into animation. I love me some cartoons.
Hell yeah. Favorite Robot Chicken sketch?
Oh my God. I think it's the one where the Barbies are driving and the dinosaur comes and he just like eats their head, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What is going on? And then like everything just blows up. And, like, yeah.
Personally, anything Bits Pudding, honestly.
Bits Pudding. Have you seen the one with Santa Claus where he's like drinking and then he's stealing all the presents in the trees?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's a good one too.
They have literally the best Christmas episodes ever.
Facts. Very true.
I mean, you mentioned your tattoos. What inspired you to get Lisa out of all the many memorable characters in The Simpsons?
I go for people, well, in my head, I try to go for people that isn't ideal that you would get. So if you were to watch the show, you would understand, like, it's not necessarily about like the meaning behind it. It's, that's from The Simpsons. Like, I kind of want to like test people's trivia. So if they know the show, they're going to have to like deep dive into their bag of tricks, because everyone knows what Homer Simpson, everyone knows Bart. But if you really know the show, then get someone that like they're not going to be thinking about at all. That's why I kind of got like Poof from Fairy Oddparents, because like, yeah, she's a main character, but she's kind of like a side main character. You know what I mean? Same thing with Lisa.
I mean, unfortunately, Poof kind of came at a time in Fairy Odd Parents when Fairy Odd Parents was kind of going down, not necessarily on the upswing.
Very correct. Very true. Very true. Yes.
What's your favorite Simpsons episode? I mean, there's like 500 of them at this point.
Oh, my gosh. My favorite is when Krusty, he loses his mojo and he just can't perform no more. You know what I mean? And then Bart's basically like, Krusty, I need you. Like, you've been my guy. And I'm just like, yeah, that hit home.
What tattoo, what's your Phineas and Ferb tattoo?
It's just Phineas and Ferb looking at each other.
Okay, so.
Yeah, that one's basic. Not everyone's just like, oh, you got a Candace Flynn. No, I was going to, but yeah.
I mean, low-key, Candace is like one of the biggest parts of the show.
I probably would have ended up getting like Belgique. You know Belgique?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have got Belgique. He was my dude. I always enjoyed him. His accent was adorable. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I am getting more though. You know, going to contribute to the wall of cartoons, the wall of fame.
What do you want to get next?
My next tattoo that I'm eyeballing. Have you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm gonna get Uncle Iroh sitting in a teacup.
That's awesome.
Yes, love me some Uncle Iroh. That man. I was going through a breakup, and he kind of just like metamorphosized my life. You know, kind of making me like realize life goes on and stuff. Because, you know, in the Avatar, I kind of watched it 3 or 4 times over, and I still rewatch it any time of the day where I'm bored. But he went through such loss, you know, with his son being in the war, then dying, and then him seeing like Prince Zuko as his son, and then over time and time again being told like, no, no, no. And he was just always there for him. I just felt like that was just like a symbol of like perseverance. Like, it doesn't matter like what you go through. You're just always, not saying like keep moving, but yeah, you just keep pushing, you keep going.
Oh yeah. Low key, maybe like all-time greatest photo figure characters in animation.
One more time.
Low key, all-time great photo figure of cartoons.
Oh yeah, for sure, is by far. And he wasn't even his father, honestly. And compared to how his father treated him, you can like tell there was like clear separation, right. And the type of bond they showed was just very unique and different. And yeah,
I mean, he was more of a father to Zuko than his own father was. So yeah, father.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, his dad was just something out the woodworks. Like, I didn't even understand him. Like, he was trying to protect the battalion, and you burned his face because you thought he disrespected someone older. And I was just like, okay, this guy, you are the king. He is the prince.
Yeah. You know, if you're definitely love the tattoo idea, but if you're going for, you know, something that would test people's trivia of Avatar, I would recommend getting the moon. And
the moon.
And underneath it say, "That's rough, pal."
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm getting at, right?
I do. Yes. Like the moon with the fish, right? Correct.
When it's Sasuke, right?
Yeah. When she has to sacrifice herself to become the moon spirit.
Yeah, and then Zuko and him have a conversation afterwards, like, "Oh, you're dating the Moody girl," and he says, "Yeah, and who are you dating?" He said, "My last girlfriend turned into the moon."
Oh my God! Yes, that definitely will be iconic. Oh my God!
And then he said, "That's rough, pal."
That's rough,
It's
pal.
one of the best scenes in the show.
I definitely would. You know, that's a good idea. Get the moonfish with "That's rough, pal" underneath it, and then if you know, you know. I think you would know, obviously, but yeah. That is a good idea.
You know, besides, you know, animation, tattoos, do you have any tattoos that have, a significant meaning to you, or deep meaning?
Yeah, on my left wrist, I have this matching tattoo that I have with my sister and my mom, and it basically just means that we're always together forever, no matter where we are. Yeah.
Sweet. Alright. I think that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh my God. Okay. I think it would be this. I think it's completely random, all 3 songs. Probably like Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter, because right now that's on my head. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. And then Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Solid 3 picks to say the least.
Yes, yes.
It's fantastic that you had them like ready to go. It seems.
I listen to music. I just got done being in a car for like 6 hours. I just came back from Michigan. I was driving with my cousin, so it's like listening to music. So.
Okay, so you had that Spotify ready to go in the car.
Oh yeah. I'm DJ Dani. If you haven't realized, or like I cut it up. No, yes, I love music.
Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first. Then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays you? And you can't say yourself because you were obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Patrick Mahomes for sure. I get that a lot. So Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Now every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Oh my gosh! Wow. I think I would be my goddad, who's no longer with me, his mom, who's no longer with us, and then my brothers. Can I say those like 2 people as one?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. For my brothers, I would just have like 2 random children because like it would be like when we're like kids. And then for my goddad, I would say Steven Seagal, or like Steve Wilco.
Okay.
And then my aunt, like Anne Hathaway. No, my grandma Anne Hathaway. There we go.
All right. This is sounding like a great movie. A blockbuster to say the least.
Yes, heart-wrenching.
And you could pre-order the tickets now.
You can at Wrestling with Entertainment.
Yes. Or PayPal is no.
No, don't give them that. No.
Onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
It's not my first choice. I've had it before. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. We'll say yeah. Yeah. What's your stand on it?
I have not partaken.
You have not partaken?
Yeah. So my mom is allergic to pineapples. So, pineapple was just not something I had in my life, generally speaking.
Okay.
If I'm ordering a pizza, I'm definitely not going out of my way to try something new. I'm gonna go with what I like.
That part, exactly.
So
what's your to-go-to order?
Oh, I mean, pepperoni and sausage.
Oh, classic.
I mean, you can't, beat the OG. It's always going to be good.
Yes, but where do you get your pizza from is the real question.
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a couple of good pizza parlors, around me. I think it's called Mama's.
Okay.
That's a good pizzeria. Low-key has kind of became a chain pizza man. They don't do too bad. And when you just want something cheap and fast and ready to go, then you just go to Domino's or Papa John's.
I love me some Domino's. My God, you can never go wrong with Domino's.
They have great sides at Domino's.
They do.
The cinnamon twisty bread, oh my God, delicious.
Yes, with some icing. Or like the stuffed bread with like the jalapeno and bacon.
Yes.
Chef's kiss. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, like I said, Domino's, great side menu. Like they could stop selling pizzas and they'd still be successful.
Oh, they will, for sure. Yes, hands down.
Alright, what's your spirit Pokemon?
My spirit Pokemon... maybe... Charizard? No? We'll go Charizard. Yeah.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
Oh, no. What is it? Can you like teach me?
Yes I can.
Okay.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
Oh, yep. All right, I get it. Yep. I was like, gee, jail. I was like, okay, got it.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. We're trying to keep the memory alive.
Yes, rest in peace, Tracy.
Yeah, if you get some time, definitely give him a Google. You will not be disappointed.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Weirdest question you will be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Considering at practice one time I wrestled Casper the Ghost, I wouldn't say it's not an option. It will test my abilities as a wrestler. So yeah, I would. Yes. For the right amount of money, though. For the right amount of money. It'd have to be like a customs match, you know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Ooh, how was it? Was it good? Was it investing?
It was definitely something to watch. It was a spectacle that you would not think would be a spectacle.
You said Mad Mike, right?
Psycho Mike.
Psycho Mike. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up when we get done with this interview because, yeah, I want to see what he did to The Rock.
I can send it to you.
Please do. Yes. Please do. I'm gonna watch it. My God.
Yes, I will send it to you.
Okay.
But you mentioned wrestling Casper the Ghost. How did that go?
Well, we were doing a battle royal, and we just needed like filler entrance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he kind of just came out of nowhere, hit me with the walls of Jericho, got me to go to sleep. It was a very wild time, you know. I got eliminated, reincarnated as like Naomi, came out as her, got eliminated, came back as Edge. Very wild time. Casper was in there until the end, so like, you know, I had to take him out, obvious. But,
yeah, you needed an exorcist.
Oh, of course. See, the last time I got eliminated, I came back as like the living, breathing star, and I used my star power to like outshine the ghost, you know. And it's like, ah! It's very traumatic, honestly, but I had to do what I had to do, you know.
Killing a beloved children's TV character.
Not Casper. No, it was either him or me, you know. So obviously, okay. See, you get it. As long as you understand, we're fine.
Are we going to see a Casper tattoo at some point in honor?
You know, when I go over my PTSD of what he did to my past, like 3 or 4 lives, quite possibly, yes. But I think it's going to take a little bit of more, like, you know, mental work for me. But yeah, eventually he's going to come on here, for sure.
Okay, I gotcha. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, that's a great question. I see myself either at TNA Wrestling, AEW, WWE, LFG. I'm shooting for the stars. I just want to keep getting better, keep growing, be the best version of myself. I don't want to put an exact label on myself because I feel like as the living, breathing star, the ceiling and the opportunities for growth are limitless. So whatever comes my way, I'm willing to go ahead and do and take whatever opportunity there is to put Danny G on the map, to be that star, to be everyone's living, breathing star, because that's the goal.
So basically, no discrimination. If they're offering you a contract, you're taking it.
Oh yes, a bag is a bag, and wrestling is wrestling. I love AEW, I love WWE, and TNA has always had my heart. So I would even go to New Japan Wrestling, CMLL. I was just talking to my cousin about this today. If you're a true wrestler, wrestling shouldn't scare you. So I think, like I said in the beginning of the interview, iron sharpens iron. So I do want to travel across the globe and perfect my craft, because you're never going to be perfect, but you can be close to it. And I think with hard work and working with talented competitors, lucha libre, British strong style, Japanese strong style, all this other stuff, like when you mix other elements into your game, I feel like the ceiling's endless, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for New Japan training, they just reopened the dojo to new students, so you might want to look into that.
Oh yeah, I seen it with, like, I think it's Fred Rosser, right? And
Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero, yes. And I believe Kushida teaches classes as well.
He taught the last class, but I don't know if he's still teaching New Japan stuff.
All right, I'm gonna have to look into it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. One recommendation I would say: definitely save up your money if you're coming to California.
Yes. Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
I've heard about that. My aunt lived in California for a little bit. That's exactly what she told me.
Yeah. You're in Chicago, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I remember when Joey came on and he was like, "I'm looking for a new place to live," and it's it was like either 900 or like 1,200, and I was like, "Dude, that will get you one room in a house that like 8 other people live in."
Oh my God.
Rents start at 2,000 and go up from there, and that's for like maybe a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Right nowadays with inflation and all that good stuff, it's crazy. Nonetheless, in Chicago, and I could only imagine California and New York and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. We don't talk about the gas prices.
We don't. We just fill up our cars and we digress and die in our car later. I get what you're saying.
Getting back to the living, breathing star. What is, if anybody wanted to go check out a Danny G match, what match would you recommend that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
Let's give top 3 because I love giving options to people. Number 1, I would say Danny G versus Mike Strong, because I feel like that really put me on the map, and it showcased the people that I can actually go as a wrestler, that I wasn't just some trainee. Second match, I would say my triple threat with Manny Cortez and Joe Blue. That was so much fun, and I feel like everyone was showcased and spotlighted exactly the way they needed to be. I was able to showcase my power and unveil some new moves, and actually I popped off my new finisher in there, which is like a Gory Buster flatliner. Pretty good. And then number 3, I would say my match with Joey Mayberry. Yeah, I think all 3 of those matches show a specific type of range of the Danny G character, from growth, where we go from here, and character-wise, and obviously selling, wrestling. You just see like how much more crispier I get, and just like the amount of growth you could just see, it's evident.
And can we find these matches on YouTube?
Yes, you can. If you look it up, like All Star Lucha Libre, Danny G, it'll pop up automatically. Because Pro Wrestling shoots for us sometimes. And then we also have Wrestling with Unicorn clips as well.
Perfect. And if they are indeed on YouTube, I will definitely grab those matches, and I will put a link to them in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Yes, please. And if you can't find them, let me know and I'll send them to you, okay?
That would be appreciated, for sure. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Freddy.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Trish Stratus.
Worst wrestler.
Oh my God. Skinsky.
Snitsky?
Skinsky, yes.
Hey, it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't. It's okay. Just stop it. Stop. He just kicked the baby, alright?
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Seth Rollins.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Edge.
Which one?
The It's a Kennedy. That one? Oh my God. Chills every time.
So the Metal Angus one.
Yes, the Matt Angus one. The one that he's not the one that he currently has now in AEW, but his last run in WWE. Yes.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Dead.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Oh.
Squash, vegetable or fruit?
Fruit? Wait. Vegetable.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer, yes.
It is indeed a fruit.
Oh my God. I should have just kept it as the first.
That's why I said, is that your final answer? Because you had it.
Okay. You see, I do have a brain, people. Alright?
No, primarily people do think that it's a vegetable. But it has seeds. Tomato logic.
I was gonna say, isn't a tomato like considered a fruit as well?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
New Japan wrestler Tai Chi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh, I kind of don't think there's an appropriate like cheek to butt cheek ratio. I think sometimes the more the merrier, and depending on the character, you kind of need to give more cheek, you know? So I think let it all hang out if you needed to, honestly.
So, from a scale from 100 to Sexy Yeti, you're going with Sexy Yeti.
Oh, for sure. Sexy Yeti be a slut. Everyone loves a good slut. Mm-hmm.
And he would agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Everyone would agree to that. Who doesn't love a good whore?
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No. No, I haven't.
And that's the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for inviting me and reaching out.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Instagram at _Dani.g, Facebook at Daniel Burks. I'm not on Twitter, but I will be soon. Merch will be coming soon, so stay posted. You can find that link in my bio. And matches are going to be coming up next month. I will be at the CSW show, the Future Stars Battle Royal, along with at Ultimate Combat Gauntlet towards the end of the month at Bedford Park, and All-Star Lucha Libre.
Perfect. And you don't even have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And when he gets merchandise, buy a damn shirt.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview DJ The Disaster, and on Wednesday, Isaiah Valencia, and every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say Wrestling With, you say entertainment, okay?
Got you.
For our special guest, Danny G, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling With
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.